Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today's Tuesday, February 18th, 2020. We'll call this meeting order at 7:35. Can you call a roll, please?
Yes, Mayor Ryan. Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Zelinski?
Here.
Trustee Juarez?
Here.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Here.
Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Navas Esparza?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, officers' reports, starting with myself. First, want to report a few things. It was nice. I was going to let everybody know I stopped by. We have a new business opening up pretty soon on Pulaski. It's called Deuces. It's an Italian sports-themed bar restaurant that's going to be opening up at 115th and Pulaski. They had a hiring event over the weekend. I stopped in just for a couple of minutes on Sunday. It was nice to see some Alsip residents, and they're applying for jobs. It's always a good thing. Also, I wanted to let everybody know that Mike Frater, Public Works Superintendent, and myself, while we struggle, I've mentioned at many meetings to get IDOT to cut the grass. We did get some blueprints about a week or two ago, Mike, to correct, to help support traffic, more right-hand turns is what we're going for, off 115th and 122nd and Cicero. When is that going to start, though, Mike? When are they going to? March? And what was kind of nice, everybody, too, is they're actually going to cut back, according to the plans that we went over, they're actually going to cut the curbs back, which is kind of nice, too, because the trucks keep tearing up, like over near White Castle and so forth, at 122nd
Really
and
bad
Cicero.
over by
Yeah,
White
they're going to
Castle.
actually cut the curbs back to make them more friendly for the trucks and so forth. We can't do anything about the fact there's an industrial park back there, but we're going to try to do what we can to alleviate more traffic. So as the traffic flows eastbound on 122nd, it'll create more right-hand turns to keep people admitting out of there with maybe more northbound traffic, especially like a rush hour and so forth then too. So, and then kind of the same difference at 115th Street then too. They're gonna rework all the signals over there then too at the same time. So, looking forward to that, and we appreciate IDOT's attention to that matter then too. I did put on here just to bring it up. I talked to Roger earlier. Roger, you're going to get a couple of prices. We just came upon us today. Chief Miller, you're aware of this. We're having a problem with the ejector pumps downstairs, so we're going to go out and get a couple of pricing. That's the original equipment. How old do you think? You said 21 years. 21 years old. The ejector pumps, and the lower levels, like where the jail and the locker rooms are at for the police department. So we need to get those changed out as soon as possible. They keep blowing circuit breakers and so forth. So, and these are special pumps. These aren't like your typical that you have at your house and stuff then too. Of course not, you know. So we need to get those addressed as soon as possible. So, Chief, I'm sorry about any inconvenience. So we'll try and get those fixed as soon as possible and stuff then too. Also, I was at Heritage 2 over the weekend, and Trustee Navas Esparza, I didn't get a chance to tell you, they had a real nice census presentation. They brought in somebody from the Census Bureau to coach up all the senior citizens and so forth then too. And I told her that you're our person over here too, so she's going to reach out to you then too, as well then too.
Was it Dion?
Pardon me?
Was it Dion or the presenter?
Yes,
Okay.
the presenter will.
But what was the presenter's name?
I believe Isabella.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in contact with someone else, but thank you.
Okay. And then the last thing, I could save it for communications, but if everyone would, please keep the Chamber of Commerce in mind this weekend, Saturday the 22nd from, is it 9 till 3:30, Mary Grace? 9:30 till 3? Okay, sorry, I had it backward. 9:30 to 3:30. The Prairie Junior High is the community expo this weekend. So the craft fairs, things for the family, business services and whatnot then too, right? Okay. And it's free admission, as always. Thank you. First on the agenda, you saw this evening, was the approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving a Class B assessment status for real estate located at 12650 South Springfield Avenue, PIN number 24-26-300-78, in the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois. This is actually property owned by Best Choice Meats. Adam Dodson's here this evening if anybody has any questions with Standrick Law Firm. And certainly, if you wish to have a conversation, please pull the items for more discussion then, too. And Adam is here to answer any questions. And that's all I have for the evening. Clerk's report?
Thank you, Mayor Ryan. Approval of the January 2020 FOIA report. There were 24 requests in the month of January. And next is a letter of recognition for Sergeant Spencer. It's dated February 14th, 2020. I would like to recognize Sergeant Spencer for going above and beyond to help a resident that he brought to the clerk's office window on Friday, February 14th. This resident was not fluent in English and was having a hard time figuring out what he needed. It is my understanding that Sergeant Spencer spent some time with this resident prior to coming to the window, and they made a phone call to someone that could help with the translation. He was able to determine he needed to come to get a vehicle sticker. Sergeant Spencer brought the resident to the window to make sure Brittany was able to understand what he needed. He assisted him in filling out the proper paperwork and stayed with him until the transaction was complete. The resident left with his vehicle sticker and a huge smile on his face. I commend Sergeant Spencer for his exemplary service to help this resident of Alsip and for leading by example. The Alsip Police Department is truly lucky to have Sergeant Spencer as part of their force. Sincerely, Eric O'Donnell, Office Supervisor. And that is all, Mayor Ryan.
All right, thank you. Attorney's report, we have Joe Kanker with us.
No report, Your Honor.
Okay. Engineers report, I didn't get one. I don't see Will here. Did he submit anything to you guys tonight for this? Okay. No report. Public forum, did anyone in the audience wish to address the board this evening? Nobody? We'll move on to standing committee reports. The Finance Committee, Trustee McLaughlin.
First, I have a request for approval to accept the attorney's recommendation of an intervention with the Electrical Joint Apprentice Training Trust located at 6201 West 115th Street for the 2018 tax year PTAB appeal. Next, I have a request for approval of a list of payroll dated February 14th, 2020, totaling $419,238.51. Next, I have a request for approval of accounts payable dated February 18th, 2020. From the recap, General Fund, $476,291.73. Road and Bridge, $18,460.91. MFT, $42,439.68. Water and Sewer, $74,802.29. Heritage, $42,872.69, for a grand total all funds of $654,867.30. And finally, even though it's not on the agenda, we will continue with the budget meetings next week, and Roger will be in the hot seat. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Next, the fire report, Trustee Murphy.
I have approval of the Fire Department January 2020 monthly activity report based on the National Fire Incident Reporting System. And number two, the approval of the Fire Department January 2020 Fire Prevention Bureau monthly activity report. That's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. Next, the police and traffic safety report, Trustee Dalzell.
The approval of the Police Department January 2020 monthly activity report and the approval to promote one lieutenant, one sergeant at next week's February 24th, 2020 committee meeting. That's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. Next, the Public Works and Boat Launch, Trustee Juarez.
I have an approval of the Public Works January 2020 monthly activity report. And I have an approval of a 2020 CDBG application resolution for the resurfacing of various streets in a total amount of $400,000. That's all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. The next would be the sewer and water report, Trustee Nava-Esparza.
Thank you. I have approval of the Water Department January 2020 monthly activity report. That is it.
Yeah, I was going to have Mike comment too, if you like, Mike. Today you had the Southwest Conference of Mayors Public Works meeting here at the Village Hall today. Did you want to give a report on that, or how'd that go?
It was fine. There was a presentation from members from Thomas Dodge.
Okay. Yeah, I saw everybody here about 9:30. They came in today and stuff. Okay, so I can repeat that. So what the superintendent said was Thomas Dodge made a presentation on vehicles and with what discounted costs. I'm assuming that's what they were talking about, right? Okay. Anything new with any of that group, Mike? You had a lot of guys here today, too, for that, yeah, too. Yeah. A lot of municipalities, I saw a lot of different cars out in the parking lot and stuff, too, so, okay. Thank you. Anything else, trustee?
Oh, that is it, Mayor.
Okay. Building and Health Departments, trustee Zelinski.
Have approval of the Building Department January 2020 monthly activity report, and also approval of the Health Department January 2020 monthly activity report. That's all.
All right, thank you. The Human Resource and Insurance Report, trustee Murphy.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Trustee, I do know, I saw our office supervisor, Erica O'Donnell, did send over the RFP to be posted on the website that we were asking for those insurance RFPs for. So that was, I believe that if it wasn't done today, it'll be done tomorrow.
Great.
Okay.
And when are those responses due? Is that next week?
I'm not sure. I got to look at it.
Okay.
I saw the.
I can double check with
Yeah, I
Erica.
saw
I
the
just-
email today, that's all,
Okay.
so. We, at the meeting, we determined a date, I just don't remember what it was and
Okay.
stuff, that's all. Next is special committee reports, the Economic Development Committee, trustee Nava Esparza.
Thank you. I have the approval of an RFP from the Barton Real Estate Holdings LLC for the property owned by the Village of Alsip at 11640 through 58 South Pulaski. The developer proposes to construct a 6,000 square foot retail center consisting of three suites. One suite is 3,600 square feet, which is a barbecue restaurant or proposed barbecue restaurant, a 1,200 square foot Italian restaurant, and a 1,200 square foot jewelry store. That's all I have there.
Yeah, and again, I like the concept of that, they're going to have independent kitchens and share the dining room, so you can walk into this establishment and get either barbecue or Italian, whatever suits your fancy there, so. Next, Village Properties, trustee McGlohorn.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Roger, how we doing with that drain line under the floor?
We've completed the drain line, we concreted today.
Is this affected, how many, 3 apartments?
It affected 3 apartments. We finalized the concrete today. We're going to go, starting tomorrow, going back after, putting in floors and putting in some of the walls. We do have some electrical issues that were cut when they were cutting the floor. The electrician will be in. He's already got it to the apartment. He has to swing it over and into the apartment, which pouring concrete, he couldn't stand on it, so he'll be in it tomorrow. But we're looking to hopefully tie all 3 apartments up over the next 3 weeks.
I never got an official, I know I was in the middle of the whole conversation. I think there was a disconnect on Friday somehow, but we were not covered under insurance for this. This was ours, right?
I actually have a meeting this Friday at 1 o'clock with our insurance agent.
Excellent, because
He is
there was
gonna
like
meet
a
us out
little bit
there.
of a disconnect on Friday there after we had all that conversation going back and forth and stuff then, too.
I
Okay,
will keep everybody posted on that.
thanks much.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have the Ordinance and Legislation Committee, trustee Zelinski.
I have an approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 9, Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 2, Fire Department, Section 9-32, Ambulance Services of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. Also, I have an approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 19, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Article 4, Motor Vehicle Licenses, Section 19-56, Definitions and Classifications, Section 19-57, Required, Section 19-58, Application, Section 19-58, Fees, Section 19-60, Contents of Sticker License Emblem, Duty to Attach, Section 19-61, Expiration Date, Proration of Fees, Section 19-63, Transfer, and Section 1964, Additional Charge for Late Application of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, IT, trustee Dalzell.
No report, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. The planning and zoning and licenses, trustee Juarez.
I have an approval of a list of licenses dated January 27th, 2020 through February 10th, 2020. That's all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Trustees, anybody have any presentations, petitions, or communications? Nobody? How about, did anyone want to remove any items from the consent agenda?
Mayor, I would like to remove item F and item I.
Anybody else? Can I get a motion then to establish the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number one to establish the consent agenda. Again, letter F as in Franklin, I as in Indigo have been removed. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez?
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navis Barza?
Yes.
Motion carries to establish.
Very good. Can I get a motion then to,
Motion to approve the
Right.
consent agenda as presented.
thank you.
Second.
Roll call number two to approve the consent agenda as presented. To correct and fill in some information. Letter A is approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving Class 6B assessment status for the real estate located at 12650 South Springfield, SPRINGFIELD Avenue, PIN 24-26-300-078-0000 in the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois, will become ordinance number 2020-02-2. Approval, letter D is in David, approval of a list of payroll dated February 14th, 2020 totaling $419,238.51. Letter E is in Edward, approval of a list of accounts payable dated February 18th, 2020 totaling $654,867.30. Letter G is in George, approval of a 2020 CDBG application resolution for the resurfacing of various streets in the total amount of $400,000 will be Resolution 2020-02-R-1. Letter J, approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 19, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Article 4, Motor Vehicle License, Section 19-56, Definition and Classifications, Section 19-57, Required, Section 1950-58, Application Section 19-59, Fees, Section 19-60, Contents of the Sticker License Emblem, Duty to Attach, Section 19-61, expiration date, proration of fees, Section 19-63, transfer, and Section 19-64, additional charge for late application of the municipal code of the Village of Alsip will be ordinance 2020-02-3. Again, this is roll call number 2 to approve the consent agenda as presented. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navis Barza?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Very good. We'll go back to the items that were removed, letter F. This was to approval to promote 1 lieutenant and 1 sergeant at the February 24th, 2020 committee meeting. For the police department, we should be clear on that yet, too. I see, that's just the date you're looking to promote. Trustee McLaughlin, you have a question on that?
I pulled this for a separate vote, Mayor. Based on our budget presentations thus far and the amount of money people are asking for, I'm a bit concerned as to where we're going, and I don't know exactly how this fits into our budget going forward, so I'm just not in favor of approving it at this time until we get an idea of the big picture.
That I'm aware of, we did, Chief, you could probably speak to this, but we lost we lost one of the patrolmen recently, right? He transferred to another town, kind of far from here or whatever?
Yeah, the ordinance that you guys have in place calls for 3 lieutenants. Let's start with that. The current department authorized strength is budgeted for 42 full-time officers. The authorized strength after the promotion is 42 full-time officers. These promotions will not increase overtime, nor will they alleviate overtime. The difference between the sergeant and a lieutenant, you're looking at a total difference cost of $14,200 over a year, or $275 a week. There's 9 weeks remaining in this budget year, meaning it will cost the village $2,500 until the next budget starts, which that position has been accounted for. During my last budget report dated 12/31 of 2019, 67% of the year elapsed, and we spent 61% of the salary line and only 62% of the overtime line. So there's plenty of money there.
Okay, so I guess my rationale was, and I spoke with finance and the police chair yesterday, was that we do have while we're short one patrolman right now, we've got one at school, correct, that'll fill that slot at some point, but we're not going to see that person for a while yet then too, right?
Correct. He's not scheduled to graduate till May.
Okay, so in the meantime, we just had to fund this for the next 2 months till we get to basically May 1 when we start our new fiscal year. So are we okay with a salary to fund that?
We're closer than that previous statement.
Okay,
We're pretty much in line with expenditures. With if all the salary stuff with holiday, I looked at with holiday, but with holiday, OT and the other was 73% after 75% of the time. But wages are higher usually on the back end. Now, if you're a shorter person, they're not. But based on anniversary dates is when people get their increases. The end of the year is more expensive per person than the beginning of the year. So
Okay.
we're right in line with where the budget was for this year.
okay.
How many holidays remain in this fiscal year?
No holidays, but again, the holidays are the smallest part of it. It's basically wages and OT.
And the other aspect is that the police chief has performed all the features and the functions at the authorized, or actually under the authorized strength. He's gone without a lieutenant. The ordinance calls for the lieutenant to be filled. He hasn't filled it. He hasn't asked for it. And he's done all that, and as he said last week, is that he's done all those different things, and he now finds it difficult to continue to ask the people to do the functions, and he's trying to get the department reaccredited, a feature of which will sit there and save this community largely, and not only the effectiveness in the operations, but should the probable happen in litigation, it'll certainly be advantageous for that department to be accredited, not only for the department, but for this community.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. I was asked where we are in the budget, and I've looked at one more month than Jay did because I have access to that.
So would you agree, though, there's a cost of doing business?
I was just asking, is this in line, are we in line where we are in the budget? And we're right about in line. If you're short a person, the costs aren't going to be as much during that time period as if you weren't short a person. So being in line you're just right about where you're supposed to be with on the budget side of it. The chief the only other thing I'd say is the chief did just mention the difference between the sergeant and the lieutenant, but as Trustee McLaughlin said at the committee meeting, you also need to add the cost between the patrol and the sergeant, because your number of sergeants remains the same. So
Yeah, that total, the difference is a
marginal
total.
dollars. We're not
Yeah,
talking huge
exactly.
dollars here, but there is both of those that need to be done. I'm just saying we're in line.
Very good.
We're in line
No,
with the budget.
that's-
all.
What's the number, Chief?
The total difference for both positions is $14,200 for a year,
What's
or
your budget?
$275 a week,
What's your annual budget?
or, I'm sorry, a month. My annual budget's over $5 million.
$14,000.
Again, I'm not trying to.
I know, the answer to my question, thank you.
Answering the question.
All right, so any other questions on this? Then, can I get someone to make the motion then? To approve, the approval to promote 1 lieutenant and 1 sergeant for the police department at the February 24th, 2020 committee meeting.
I make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Roll call number 3 to approve letter F. Again, approval to promote 1 lieutenant and 1 sergeant for the police department at the February 24th, 2020 committee meeting. Again, roll call number 3 to approve. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
No.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Navis Barza.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve letter F, as in
Great.
Frank.
Okay, very good. Next was letter I, the approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 9 Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 2 Fire Department, Section 9-32 Ambulance Services of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. Trustee McLaurin, do you have a question for that one?
No, I just wanted a separate vote, Mayor. I was against incorporation of the lift assist fees to begin with, so I'm not going to vote in favor of the ordinance that authorizes them.
Understood. Did anyone else have a question on this matter? Okay. And then can I get a motion, please, to approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 9 Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 2 Fire Department, Section 9-32 Ambulance Service of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip.
I'd make the motion, Mayor.
Second.
Roll call number 4 to approve letter I as in indigo, approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 9 Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 2 Fire Department, Section 9-32 Ambulance Service of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. Again, roll call number 4 to approve. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
No.
Trustee McLaughlin.
No.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Navis Barza.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve. This will now become ordinance number 2020-02-4.
Very good. Trustees, did anyone have any unfinished business? Any new business? You know, one thing I wanted to mention too, real quick, was I should have did under the fire report. Chief, I didn't get a chance to share it with the whole board, but one of our mainline fire trucks ran into an issue yesterday. It needs some suspension work done. It's inoperable now for about 2 weeks, Chief. We're going to be missing it.
Correct. As soon as they get the parts, it's the spring pack on the front side of the engine, our 2006 engine. We brought it in for some other work yesterday, and they found it. Was pretty much being held in by a pin. So we're very lucky we didn't have anything catastrophic fail. So we're looking up to $6,000 cost to have it done.
Chief did confirm with me today, too, because I did send that to the fire committee yesterday. That is not the truck that we're that he's recommended for refurbishment. This is one of the mainline trucks out of house number 2 all the time,
Correct.
too. So I'm glad you caught that, obviously, as a fluke
yeah.
and so forth then, too. So,
Absolutely.
Ma'am Clerk, you have a question?
I just wanted to remind everybody that coming soon to Village Hall will be early voting for the presidential primary beginning of March. Times and open hours will be posted shortly. That is on my right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion then to adjourn?
So moved.
Took it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We'll adjourn this meeting at 8:04, and again.